Good afternoon, Dutchman Creek faculty and staff. Thank you so much for an amazing week last week. We had wonderful instructional strategies taking place and discipline was amazing as well. So thank you. I wanted to mention just a few items for the week at a glance this week. The first item is, of course, in reference to professional learning communities. We've been doing several observations with PLCs as well as with individual teachers and content areas. And a few things have just been brought to our attention that we need to address in a very diplomatic and professional manner. The first item with PLCs is the formative assessments, making sure that those formative assessments that you create with members of your PLC really guide instruction as you proceed with the unit or with the current levels of study. Also, we want to make sure that you are have a wonderful plan for collective planning with your PLC. When you collectively plan, things such as having the standard divided or the indicators divided amongst the members of the PLC so that everyone has an equal part in developing activities is essential. Additionally, you want to make sure that in addition to having the standard divided, you also have your learning targets shared with members of the PLC so that each of you may develop specific learning targets according to the strategy, and it prevents one member of the PLC from doing the majority of the work. Also, we want to make sure that you have your learning targets and your strategies and activities uploaded into whatever document you choose to use with your PLC prior to your meeting on Thursdays. If your documents are uploaded prior to Thursday, which is our PLC planning day, it just allows you to move through with more of a consensus building at that point as opposed to developing all of the materials. We also want to make sure that we have effective strategies in place for the activities that you will develop. There's a very helpful slide that the administrators will discuss with you in reference to the difference between a strategy and an activity. This has been presented in previous Gators Teaching Gators sessions, but it's always good to have just a minor quick refresher. And lastly, we want to make sure once again that we're using the items from the formative assessment to guide instruction for that particular unit. So if students take a quiz or whatever formative strategy you're using, results from that strategy or results from that activity or results from that formative assessment are utilized in building and guiding further instruction. Lastly, in reference to sub plans, this week we had quite a few subs in the building for various professional development reasons. And I just wanted to make you aware, teachers, as I already know that you are aware, but when you have your plans developed in your mind and on that paper, I'm quite sure they make perfect sense to you because you developed them. However, we want to make sure that when we develop sub-plans, they are of a standard where that an individual who is not completely familiar with our content or familiar with our school will have a very seamless transition throughout the day. That's exactly what needs to happen with the sub-plans. So let's just make sure that we revisit our sub-plans, making sure that we have things such as seating charts. That became a minor concern this week because I had students who will say, well, the teacher allows me to sit here. And then, of course, that creates somewhat of a discussion, oftentimes unnecessarily, between the sub and a student. So small things like leaving seating charts, leaving specifics in reference to any medical concerns, leaving specific information in reference to the content delivery, making sure that there are enough copies made. All of these small details are things that make a big difference. So to help you with this, I will resend our expectations for sub as well as sub plans in the week at a glance this week. You can refer to it as well as previous items that have been sent in reference to subs. Thank you so much for your attention with these concerns in reference to professional learning communities and those minor adjustments we need to make with having substitutes in our building. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing week.